In the crucible of climate change, a silent crisis looms, the environmental refugee crisis. As rising temperatures, extreme weather events, and environmental degradation displace millions worldwide, the geopolitical landscape is being reshaped by waves of climate-induced mass migration. But what are the underlying causes of this crisis, and how will it impact global politics and security? Climate change is not just an environmental phenomenon, but a humanitarian and geopolitical crisis of unprecedented magnitude. As sea levels rise, crops fail, and habitats vanish, vulnerable populations are forced to flee their homes in search of safety, security, and survival. The resulting influx of environmental refugees poses complex challenges for nations, regions, and the international community. At the heart of the environmental refugee crisis lies the nexus of climate change, resource scarcity, and human vulnerability. As climate-induced disasters intensify and ecosystems degrade, entire communities are uprooted, triggering a cascading series of social, economic, and political disruptions that reverberate across borders and continents. The environmental refugee crisis is a symptom of systemic failures in our approach to climate adaptation, mitigation, and resilience. By neglecting to address the root causes of climate change and failing to invest in sustainable development and disaster preparedness, governments and societies exacerbate the vulnerability of marginalized communities and perpetuate cycles of poverty and displacement. As the number of environmental refugees continues to rise, humanitarian organizations are stretched to their limits, grappling with the scale and complexity of climate-induced displacement. From overcrowded refugee camps to strained host communities to inadequate funding and resources, the response to environmental migration requires urgent action and international solidarity to protect the rights and dignity of affected populations. As the environmental refugee crisis escalates, there is an urgent need for collective action and innovative solutions to address its root causes and mitigate its impacts. From investing in climate-resilient infrastructure to strengthening international cooperation on migration governance, to promoting sustainable development and environmental conservation, nations must collaborate across borders and sectors to confront the challenges of climate-induced displacement and build a more resilient future for all. As we confront the environmental refugee crisis, let us remember that our fates are intertwined and our destinies are linked to the health of our planet and the well-being of future generations. By standing together in solidarity and taking decisive action to address the root causes of climate change and displacement, we can build a brighter, more resilient future for ourselves and for generations to come.